I'm live. I'm live. Hey guys, how are y'all doing? Welcome to episode number, what is it? I think I had it somewhere. Episode number 117 of Cliff Notes Live. I hear those numbers, it just blows me away. So it's so much fun. 117 hours worth of talking to you guys. Loving every bit of it. Hope y'all are doing fantastic. Before going further, a big old SKD 143. Love my wife, love my kids, love reality TV in general. Especially love you guys that are huge fans of Big Brother and out here, either watching live or watching on replay, either one. Thanks to all of y'all. I have so much fun talking to y'all on Monday nights. Makes Monday a lot more entertaining than otherwise would be the case, right? I mean, no one likes Mondays, right? Rainy days and Mondays bring me down. Not here, not when I get to talk to y'all. I get an hour doing this. So thank you so much. Special shout out to my brother Bowie. It's his birthday today. So hey, happy birthday, Bowie, as well. He's 13 years younger than I am. So yeah, it's quite the difference. I may get him out here one of these episodes just to talk about when he was on The Apprentice back in 2001 versus when I was on Big Brother 18 years later. Isn't that amazing? So anyway, happy birthday to you, Bowie. All right, let me see who all's out here before we start. Yeah, I got a few things I'm going to talk about tonight, and I know y'all got some things y'all want to talk about as well. So bring it on. All right, let's see who we got out here before we go any further. Amanda Lowe. Howdy, Amanda. How are you doing? Brian Hostetler as well. Yeah, we're going to talk about a few things. Mark Taylor. And Mark, how are you? Cindy Heyer. Wyatt Garrett. Logan Hambrick. Logan, how are you doing, sir? And Jake, the horror movie geek. Welcome to all of y'all. I know we got more watching as well. I haven't commented yet. A lot watching on replay as well. I'll say it right off the bat, and then we'll move on to some of these other topics because we got a few of them this evening. For those of you who haven't already done so, yeah, please consider going out there and subscribing to my YouTube channel, turning on notifications, and maybe hitting the little thumbs up as well. Always appreciate it. I think it's going to start getting fun. Not that it hadn't been fun already, but we're starting to get into the season of the Big Brother Canada, Big Brother USA. So much stuff to talk about with all of that. So we're kind of coming out of the wintertime season, right? It's certainly getting warm down here. Houston always gets warm. We think the winter's gone, and then we get one freeze just to screw with all of us. So we've got that. But yeah, we're definitely past the wintertime into spring, and that means Big Brother and another season of Survivor. So much stuff going on. I'm excited to hear and watch and talk about every single bit of it. Now, before we do that, a couple of, in case you didn't know, type deals to bring up. Did y'all know today is National Strawberry Day? Yeah, here's the reason I brought that up. Strawberries, my absolute favorite fruit. Second is pineapples, but strawberry by far. Always loved strawberries. One of my earliest memories as a kid was spending weekends with my granny and granddaddy Hog, who had a giant side garden of strawberries. And it was my job to go out there and make sure all the snails stayed off the strawberry plants. And I took that job very seriously. How old was I? I was probably, I don't know, 6, 7, 8. I mean, I wasn't really old, but I knew how to get the snails off those strawberries. I would spend hours out there making sure everything was okay on them. And my granny would pick the strawberries, help me pick them. We'd go in, we'd put a big old bowl of sugar there, cut the strawberries up. Perfection. So that's my absolute favorite fruit, hence the background as well. Everything about strawberries I love. Strawberry jelly, strawberry Pop-Tarts. Growing up, it had to be tough for my mom because my brother loved chocolate. I love strawberry. So every day she'd send a thing of milk in our lunchbox with us to school. He got chocolate milk. I got strawberry milk. I can't tell you the last time I've had strawberry milk, but I had strawberry milk. He had Count Chocula cereal. I had Frankenberry cereal, the strawberry flavored. Yeah, we made things as difficult as we could for my parents, but happy National Strawberry Day to all of y'all. I need to go in and buy, and I don't know if we got in the fridge. If not, I may have to up to the store this evening, get some strawberries to celebrate. Love it. I absolutely love it. There are a lot of countries I've been to that don't have strawberries. Is that just kind of a U.S. thing? And Canada, perhaps, as well. But yeah, love me some strawberries. All right, what else do we have? A couple of questions. We'll talk about some other stuff. Mark Taylor is asking, who are the two people on the wall and what is their significance? Are you talking about on the reminder that I sent out? Yeah, Mark. Here's the deal. I found a new show to binge watch this weekend. Didn't plan on it. Sharon and I we were watching some sports, and we had Aggie baseball and basketball. XFL, the Houston Roughnecks are playing football, so we watched a little sports. But to break that up a little bit, we had a little downtime. Just started cruising through Netflix looking for different shows. We found a show that seemed kind of interesting, crime whodunit called The Watcher. Yeah, okay, that's based on a true story. Thought, all right, well, that's kind of cool. A little crime whodunit. Oh, this is the creepiest, scary in a very, I don't know, weird kind of way. This whole thing, and we haven't finished it, so I don't think I can really give away any spoilers because I don't know the ending yet. But the whole thing is about a family that moves into what 657 Boulevard or so, moves into a brand new house, and someone's got some access to this house and is keeping track of who these people are, where they are, sending scary messages in the mail, not email, but putting it in the post box and all of that, and just monitoring everything that's taking place with this family. And it's based on a true story, which gives me the absolute heebie-jeebies. I mean, it's one thing to have paranormal, the ghost floating around. Yeah, by power of Christ, I compel you, and maybe get that poltergeist to leave. But if it's just some creeper that's hanging out, figured out some way to get in your house or something, that would get my attention. And we watched the first 3, 4, 5 episodes. It's just a scary, scary show. So, Mark, the that background had two of the characters from that show. There's a lot of different creepy kind of people, and you don't really know who is the watcher, who's just a standard old weird person in your neighborhood. Every neighborhood has a few oddball types. I figure in my neighborhood they probably say, yeah, that guy that was on TV is the oddball for our neighborhood. But now, so those are two of the characters on that show, and I don't know what it is about here lately. It seems like all of the shows that I've been watching are just kind of dark and creepy and a little bit nerve wracking and all that. I started watching The Watcher. I'm still watching The Last of Us about a post-apocalyptic world and people trying to survive. I'm watching The Witches of Mayfair on AMC, one of Anne Rice's books about a bunch of witches, which is very creepy as well. It's not even Halloween, so I don't know. I'm in my dark moment. Hey, Jake, the horror movie geek. Jake, you ought to enjoy every bit because everything I'm watching is just kind of monster type stuff. So yeah, I'll do all that, and then I guess I'll shift back in my reality TV mode here within the next week. But yeah, if you hadn't seen it, check out The Watcher. Watch it with your lights on if you're the kind that easily gets scared, because it is a little. It's just one of those. I don't want to ever turn around and find some shadow behind me in a hallway watching me or anything like that. And you see a little bit of that out there. It's scary. One of the movies that really scared me growing up, The Sixth Sense. Kind of the same thing. It's scary and you just people where they shouldn't be and things like that. And here's the thing about The Watcher. I think I said a little while ago, but just to reemphasize, it's based on a true story. Maybe like the Amityville Horror, which is based on a true story, but they kind of jacked it up a little bit, the story and all that. Doesn't matter. If there's anything, I've read the background on the true story, and there truly are just some strange people in this world. So yeah, check out The Watcher. But that was my background, was a little homage. Is that what you say to that series that's on Netflix? All right, some different questions we got in here. Brian Housteller. Brian mentions Canada not doing live feeds. Big Brother Canada not doing live feeds is crazy. And how and then Mark saying, how does that affect you and your commission to us? I can't believe they're not doing live feeds. Y'all know me, right? I was inside the Big Brother house. I like talking to those cameras, right? It was an important part of, I don't know, my strategy. I almost blew up my game, but I wanted to talk to the cameras, and because I knew people were watching, and it was a way for me to connect with people, even though the viewers couldn't give me feedback. I could give them some feedback. So I felt like I was doing a little bit of service when I was talking about what was going through my head, what I thought was happening, things like that. But beyond that, having the live feeds was also a way for me to communicate with my family, who I knew they were watching, and so I knew I could talk to them and and that they would see me saying, I love you and I'm thinking about you. And it made me feel more grounded while I played the game. It made me feel not safer. It made me feel more at ease. That even though I couldn't hear them, I could still talk to my family. If the live feeds go away, and I get it. I know Big Brother Canada said that they're going to do their daily briefings. That they're going to do. What's my sign? What is it with Big Brother Canada? They make it difficult for us Americans to watch, and then they take off the live feeds. I know, Ma. What? I heard something, and I guess there's something to be said for this. Here in the United States, they're using the live feeds to drive a lot of people to Paramount Plus TV, right? I mean, yeah, people go out there to watch old seasons and all that, but a lot of people sign up for Paramount Plus just to watch the live feeds every summer. So they're using that to generate a whole lot of extra revenue for Paramount Plus. So here in the United States, and I just saw a story today that says, I don't know if they've confirmed it but basically they're not getting rid of live feeds here in the United States. If they do, oh, that'd be horrible. I would be so incredibly upset. It just would not be the same show. And I know up in Canada, they've said that, we'll do an hour-long daily briefings every day of uncut footage and all that. It may be uncut footage, but they're still taking 24 hours or so worth of film and only showing you an hour of it, which means there's a whole lot of stuff that you're going to miss. And I know if there's 3 or 4 important conversations that take place, it's going to be about strategy. It's going to be about, I don't trust this person. It's going to be really important conversations that they squeeze into an hour-long episode. And that'll help us understand what's going on. But having been in that house, I truly believe a lot of understanding the dynamics and the relationships in the house and everything are watching people when they're not talking huge strategy. It's when people are just talking about junk, talking about non-relevant, getting to know each other and who hangs around with each other with non-strat. When I was in a house, I tried to, didn't always happen, but I wanted to be in any room where strategy talk was occurring, whether I really liked the person or I was just kind of putting up with the person, didn't trust him at all. You go in, you try to be a part of a lot of conversations, but when it's non-important talk, what's your favorite TV show as a kid or something like that, when you have those kinds of conversations, you don't feel like you need to necessarily be in every one of those rooms where something like that's happening. So you can watch and you can see who's laughing at each other's jokes, who's just at ease hanging around with each other. There's a lot of things that I think you would miss if you didn't have the live feeds. Now, Big Brother Canada already didn't have full feeds. They would shut it off every night, which is why I don't cover them from live feeds, partially. And as Ma points out, they make it hard for us to watch anyway. But yeah, it's they've already not shown as much as they do here. Thank you, Big Brother US. There's a lot of things I like about Big Brother Canada, the house, the theming, things like that. Live feeds here, I'm so glad they do it. Now, Ma saying the advantage of Big Brother over Survivor is the live feeds. I agree with that. So you can see how the cast really is and not the edited version. I absolutely agree with that. And I think, I'm kind of biased, right? But I think Big Brother fans are much more passionate and much more vocal and enthusiastic and everything than Survivor fans are. And I think there's a couple of reasons for that. One is the really dedicated Big Brother fans. They don't just watch 1 hour a week of Survivor. They're watching, 16 hours a day or whatever they could squeeze in. So because I'm the same way, I feel like I can relate more and get to know the people on Big Brother so much more because I watch the live feeds. And as a result, what they truly are. You're right, Ma. You know what they're truly about, at least as much as you can tell from, knowing that they're in there with cameras pointing at them. And, so people always alter behavior a little bit. Sometimes they just don't seem to care. But no, I agree. It's just different when you see someone for extended periods of time versus just 1 hour a week. And I think it does make an absolute difference. And one of the things, Survivor, I love Survivor. I absolutely love it. I'd love to play the game one day. It's the first reality show that I started watching. Jeff Probst, there's no equal to Jeff Probst in terms of host and all that. I love that show, but sometimes I feel like we miss out. Some of the strategy gets talked about so much during those episodes. You don't just see the little relationship building that takes place. We get that on our show. I was talking about us, Big Brother US versus Big Brother Canada. I feel like Big Brother US uses live feeds to draw a lot of people to Paramount Plus, whereas I'm not sure Big Brother Canada does that. And I saw someone mention the fact that Big Brother Canada has a lot more hosts or sponsors for y'all show up there as opposed to ours. Yeah, we used to have Outback Steakhouse and some things like that. I was so chapped. I really thought somewhere during my season, if I lasted long enough, I'd get to go in the backyard and have an Outback Steakhouse. Nah, they got rid of that. We didn't get any of that, but they still have a lot of that up in Big Brother Canada. I probably would have won a few more HOHs if I knew there was a Wendy's burger waiting for me at the end of it. But Big Brother Canada has a lot more sponsors, and I saw someone that threw out the idea of what if they're a little worried about someone who would say something wrong that would impact the sponsors because it would give a bad look. Yeah, no, there's always things that are said that create controversy, and by getting rid of the live feeds, maybe the sponsors are a little bit more protected. They won't show things that create too much controversy, which as a viewer, I want to see that stuff, right? But as a sponsor, I get why they would want to have some editorial control over what's shown. So yeah, all right, Big Brother Canada, a big old boo to you. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all, and I'm going to continue to say it all season long. I'll still watch it next Wednesday, for those of you who don't know, which means those house guests are probably already in sequester, right? For me, when I went in, I think our show started on a Tuesday. I went in sequester on a Wednesday or a Thursday. But nowadays with COVID and all that, I think sequester is a little bit longer. So those house guests are probably already locked away somewhere in Toronto or wherever they keep them. I'm waiting for the cast reveal. I haven't heard when that's going to be, but yeah, I'll still watch it. But it's just not going to be the same. Whatever. We'll see. It may be just this year. Maybe they get so much blowback from it they change it next year. But thank you, Big Brother. If Big Brother changes it, we got to have a long talk. That's going to be rough. All right, Logan Hambrick. Hey, Logan, how are you doing? How do you like the XFL? Well, I like it. I like it a lot because Houston has a team. Here's a couple things. First of all, Houston has a team. If they didn't have a team, it's a little harder to get too enthusiastic with it. Part two, the NFL Houston Texans have not had the best couple of years. Yeah, it's been a long slog for us watching as NFL fans. So it's nice having a team that's actually winning. Yeah, I like the XFL. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, is part owner of that thing, part of a conglomeration that owns it. They've got cool rules as far as kickoffs and extra points. You can go for 1, 2, or 3 extra points, and instead of an onside kick, you can take the ball, I think, at your own 20, and you have like a 4th and 20 or something. And if you make it, then you keep the ball. If not, they get the ball right there. I mean, they do a lot of things that are a lot of fun. They're pretty cool. So yeah, we watched that last night. Houston played my hometown Arlington Renegades. So I had a lot of fun with it. I like the XFL. I like to see competition for the NFL from whatever form or place that comes from. Yeah, baseball's got minor league. I used to live out in West Texas when I was working in the oil fields out in the middle of nowhere, a long way away from Major League Baseball. But they had minor league teams out there that were so much fun. You pay a couple of bucks to get a ticket to go in, and there were baseball players who just come out of high school or college. They weren't superstars. They were just kids trying to make it. And so they were so passionate and enthusiastic about all of it. I loved minor league baseball. I think it'd be cool to have minor league football in a similar format of some sort. So yeah, I'm glad to see the XFL. Hey, my Houston Roughnecks are 2-0, and they're the Roughnecks. I'm a little upset when I used to play fantasy football. My team was always the Houston Roughnecks. That was my pick. That was my name. They stole it from me. They didn't give me tickets or anything. We'll have to have a talk with yeah. I'll give Dwayne Johnson a call and ask him what the deal is. I'm sure he'll be right there ready to take my call. I like it. I enjoy it. All right, Partly Cloudy. I like that login name. Partly. Wonder why the people on Twitter pick on a house guest trying to find something wrong every season. You know what? There's just a lot of people who want to be offended, right? I mean, there's people who just go through life optimistic. There's people who go through life pessimistic, glass half full, glass half empty. I've always tried to be the optimist. I tried to while I was in the house. I certainly try to out here. When I talk about Big Brother, I do the overnight recaps. I try, not that I don't poke fun at people here and there. I guarantee if I was watching and another version of me was sitting there spilling the beans in the boat room and overheard, I'd be poking a little fun there too. I'll poke fun, but I'm not going to horribly criticize anyone plays that game because I know what it's like. But you're right. There's people who just are waiting to find someone to criticize for whatever they can come with. You know, inside the house, especially that first week or two, we all are looking for any excuse to put someone on the block. It doesn't even have to be valid. As long as there's just something that you can hang your hat on of saying, well, I voted to send you out because, and you have some kind of reason, that's all you want. That's all you care about. Again, maybe it's true. Maybe it's not true. It doesn't really matter. You're looking for something. And I feel like there's some people similar out on social media. They're just looking for controversy, looking for things that are going to stir everyone else up and get a bunch of clicks and comments and all of that. I guess I'll say it takes all kinds of people, right? You don't want to have everyone all rosy and positive all the time. I mean, a little criticism probably isn't a big deal, but there's some toxicity out here that makes it tough. Yeah, it's just you have to deal with it nowadays. Back in the day, again, when my brother Bowie was on The Apprentice, before social media, Twitter, and was Twitter around 2001? If so, it just started up. But back then, you just played the game and that was it. Nowadays, you really do have to worry about every single thing that takes place and is it taken the wrong way, or you just never know. So you just have. It's just the nature of our culture, not just reality TV, but just everything that everyone does. Welcome to 1984. Big Brother isn't just watching that studio lot in Burbank. Big Brother's watching everything we do nowadays, it seems like. All right. Mark saying, did you watch Special Forces? They are abusing the contestants. Man, I gotta say, I relate to a few of the few of the older guys that have been playing this game and all that. The spirit is there, but the athleticism isn't always there. Yeah, there's no letting off. These Special Forces guys, I feel like they came in and said, all right, we're going to do this show, but these celebrities better not think that they're just going to get to cakewalk. We're going to try to break them. They've been doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah, no, I'm definitely watching. And last episode, their camp was overrun. They're having to follow maps and try to stay away from people hunting them down with dogs and all of that. They're out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. And I gotta say, I think if I was in there, I'd do pretty well. Now, there's some things they've had to do, like run up the top of like a 400-story building, it seems like, and then rappel off the side. Did they rappel? I think so. Or walk across a rope or something. There's a few that just from a pure athletic endurance standpoint, I'd be wheezing away. It'd be tough. But a lot of things, I don't think I would be so intimidated by some of the things they do in terms of yelling and submerging you underwater and making you go backwards like into the water from a helicopter. That all sounds pretty cool. Now, it'd be different if you're doing it in enemy territory and you know someone's sitting there with guns pointing at you and all of that. That maybe would be a little different situation. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying the Specialist. Would they bring it back for another season? I don't know, maybe, but I feel like it kind of loses its deal after you've seen it once. I mean, are they just going to keep ramping that more and more? I don't know, but it's been fun, and there's some people who surprised me. Is it Hannah Brown? I think was a Bachelorette. If it's female's Bachelorette, yeah, she's still in it. She's the only non-athlete left in this group, and she's doing pretty well. The people who are left deserve to be there. Dwight Howard, basketball player. Man, I wouldn't. Well, maybe I would like to go to battle with Dwight Howard because he's a lot bigger target than I don't know. I got a bit of a target myself, but it'd be tough for him to try to sneak anywhere as tall as he is, right? But he's a different side of Dwight Howard than I ever saw when I was watching him play basketball. So yeah, I've really enjoyed that series. It's been a lot of fun. All right, Mark the Nard. Mark, do you know when we'll get another Traders? No, I do know that they've renewed for season 2. Yay, because I enjoyed season 1. But I don't know that this next season is going to be celebrities. Yeah, I don't know that it's going to be. I think they used the celebrities, and I'm using that word loosely. They used former reality people from other TV, other shows to bring an audience to the Traders for the first season. But now that people know about it, I don't know. I think they'll probably end up bringing in a bunch of new people that none of us know about. And I'm okay with that. I mean, if you want to bring me on there, I'd certainly love to do that too. But I like the Traders. I think I've said before on here, I think there's a lot more strategy to be figured out that people haven't quite figured out. And I know over in the UK, I think they've got 2 or 3 seasons, maybe 4. So they've had a little bit more time to watch the show over there. But I think here in the United States, I think there's strategy that people haven't even thought about. I think people are too focused on really trying to get out the trader in the beginning. I wouldn't worry about it. I'd just be protecting myself and building some alliances and everything. But anyway, discussion for another day. But yeah, no, it has been renewed. But when it's going to come back, I don't know. Especially when you're talking, is that Netflix? When you're talking about non-major TV channels, who knows what kind of schedule they're going to have when they release this stuff. But yeah, I'm looking for. I love the first season of. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Logan saying, who did you trust the least while you were in the house? Oh gosh, that's tough. There are people that I just absolutely didn't think they ever would stick with me if it came down to it. There people like Sis. I mean, Sis and I just never worked together. We are on friendly terms with each other. I like Sis. I mean, she's fine, but we just never really were on the same team. Tommy and Christy, I thought I enjoyed playing with them because they both are huge fans of Big Brother, and I saw that in them. And so I thought that would help me. Nah, it didn't. Who did I trust the least? Maybe Tommy. As much as I love Tommy, I knew he was gunning for me. I knew every time he won an HOH, I was going to go on the block. I wanted to work with him, but it just didn't work out. I tell you who I trusted the least in that game, and that was Bella. I mean, nothing against Bella either, but I very much saw her playing the game is jumping on board with anyone and stabbing you in the back as quick as you could. I got a little peeved because she came up to me and said, Cliff, if you really work with Nick and I, we may be able to get you to the jury. We'll do what we can to get you to the jury. It probably won't go any further than that, but we could at least get you to the jury. It's like, oh, thank you, Bella. I appreciate that. Of course, inside I'm saying, man, no, that's not the way it works. I'm not going to kiss up and everything just to try to get to jury. But yeah, I probably never, and she wasn't there long enough for me to really build any kind of great alliance as well. So yeah, I wasn't real trusting of her. A better question may be, who did you really trust in the house? The 2 people I absolutely, truly trusted, Nicole and Ovi, and to some degree, Mickey. And it cost me in the end. I'm a little too trusting of Mickey, but even him, I knew that he was playing the game for himself. I just thought I could make his goals and my goals match up enough to help us, and it didn't quite work out at the end. But Ovi and Nicole are the only 2 people that I absolutely trusted in there. Everyone else, I assumed that they were ready to get you in the back as soon as they had the opportunity. It's just the way the game's played. All right, Mark's saying, are you finished watching The Circle? What do you think of it? Yeah, I finished The Circle. I don't want to give a spoiler away because I know there's probably people who have said perfectly fine with the winner. I'm a little surprised at who won it. I don't know that would have been my first choice as a unbiased viewer watching it. The one thing, and I know I've mentioned on this a few weeks ago, the one thing I think I don't like about The Circle as compared to like Big Brother USA is the fact that the people who are still in the game, the people who still have the opportunity to win The Circle, are the ones voting on who they want to rank top all the way down to the bottom, which I think it makes you can't be unbiased. It makes you very non-objective in how you're going to vote, right? Survivor's the same way. What if they took the last 5 or 6 and said, y'all are going to vote amongst yourselves on who the best of y'all are? Well, if I'm in there, I'm going to vote for the person I think's the strongest, the one that's most likely to get the votes. I'm going to vote for them last place. The person I think that's done the least amount of work, the one who least deserves a title, they're getting my vote number one because I want to be number one. I don't want to put the strong people up top. I want to put the weak person. And so because of that, I think the circle, I wish they would change that up. And who am I? I mean, there's a lot of circles shows all around the world and all that, but I kind of wish the people that were voting weren't necessarily the ones that were left, but either the viewing audience, which you can't really do with Netflix, maybe the people who already got blocked and are already out of the game, let them watch the whole season and vote at the end or something. I'd maybe like to see that a little bit. I'm not real sold on the way they do it. But having said that, the last few people that were left in there, I'm fine with it. I like the circle. I don't think I would play that well in the circle. There's other games I think I'd do better in. But it's fun watching. It's fun watching people trying to catfish and act like someone they aren't. Some people do it well. Others, Shuby, don't do it so well at all. All right. Brian Hassan. I can now reveal that family friends tried out for The Voice on the premiere of March 6th. Wow, that's pretty cool. 3 sisters that go by Sorrel. They're really good. Wow, that's pretty cool. I've watched The Voice forever. Now I gotta admit, I will probably watch the Voice, American Idol. I've watched a lot of these. We watch The Voice probably more than American Idol nowadays. Well, that's cool. Congratulations. As fun as it was to be on my show, I know from my family watching and extended family and coworkers to see me on there. I know it was kind of exciting for them too. They got to kind of share and everything I was going through. And then after I was out, the next season with All Stars, Nicole and David were on there. So then I knew what it was like to be watching someone that you care about, watching them play the game and you can't do anything about it. It's got to be kind of the same thing whenever you watch them try out singing and all that. That's cool. All right. Another reason to watch because I'm going to be checking them out. That's pretty good. I do know Blake Shelton's last season. Saw Blake Shelton in concert at the rodeo last year. Was it last year? I think it was last year. Our rodeo started here in Houston again this year. Fun time of the year. But yeah, Blake Shelton's last year. But yeah, I'm going to be checking it out. I like The Voice. I like the judges they have on there, the interactions they have between them. And they get a wide variety of people singing too. And I like the fact that Blake Shelton's kind of the country judge. Gwen Stefani's a little bit more the rock judge. You get all these different types of people with specialties, but they don't necessarily just keep, John Legend will take someone that's a country singer or I like seeing the variations that they get and how they coach these different people. I like all kinds of reality TV, including the only reality TV I don't watch as much of is some of the dating shows and all that, but everything else, including the talent competitions, I love every bit of it. It's a lot of fun. All right, Cindy Hire saying, I have a picture sitting in one of the Voice chairs. That's cool. If I showed up on that set, they'd probably kick me out because I'd be pushing that button, spinning around. I bet they tell you not to do that, but that's cool. If I show up on The Voice, I'm gonna show up wearing my cowboy hat. I'm gonna sit there like Blake Shelton. I'm gonna try to replicate everything he does. But we really like The Voice. We enjoy it. Amanda Lowe saying the pool always looked gross. Was it dirty, or did it just look like it? Well, we didn't look too close at the bottom of the pool, Amanda. The pool was okay. I mean, beggars can't be choosers, right? It was so hot outside. The water was fine. The chlorine was not horrific or anything else. It was okay. I mean, you get stuff blowing in every once in a while, but the pool was okay. I'll tell you what was not so okay was the hot tub. The hot tub was a little janky. It very rarely during our season was it actually a hot tub. Most of the time it was either a cool tub or a very lukewarm tub. It just didn't, I don't know. I guess the heater broke and it was tough to fix or something. And there was stuff peeling away. It was just not something. If it had been a true hot tub, God, I was set out there, especially after doing the wall competition, slip and slide, some of those competitions that pulled a lot out of you. I would have been sitting in that hot tub for hours on end, massaging these muscles and everything else. But no, the hot tub was a little rough, so we didn't spend as much time there in it as we did with just our feet around it and all that. The hot tub was a little rough. The swimming pool, it was okay. It was fine. There were a lot of people, not just my season, I guess every season. They were a lot more interested in laying out around the pool and sunning and getting their tans in and all that. And here I am trying to fit in, so I'm doing the same thing. But all I could think is, man, here I am, swimsuit on. I got my SPF 30 on there, so I don't burn a little crisp. But I'm out there like enjoying the sun. My skin's probably so pasty white compared to some of these folks that spend a lot of time at the beach and all that. That's all right. I was going to be out there and make sure that if they were talking, I was listening. The great thing about sitting there at the pool was you could act like you were kind of sleeping or whatever, sunglasses on, either looking towards the pool or just acting like you're asleep. But you could still kind of hear people talking over in the corner where a little patio area was, or back by the pool table. As long as it was quiet, the noise carried decently. So that was a great way to kind of try to eavesdrop without actually making it look too obvious. But yeah, we love the pool. That fake grass, because it is fake, it's all artificial turf in the backyard. And it gets so hot to the point that you could not walk in a backyard barefoot. You had to have sandals on, or else it would absolutely toast your feet. It was pretty miserable. But yeah, the pool was okay. The only issue with the pool was that there was a little shower back there, and you were supposed to pull the handle and get showered down before you got in the water. A lot of people didn't do that. So pretty soon you end up with a whole lot of suntan lotion and bug spray and everything else, all sitting in that pool, floating along the top and all that. So, but again, I'm glad we had it. It'd be miserable if you didn't have water or something in there. I was never a have not, but I guarantee if I'd been a have not, I hate cold showers. It'd be miserable. I would be out there in that swimming pool all day, every day, just as a way to keep clean, just so I didn't have to take those cold showers. They may have said something if I'm out there with a bar of soap and a scrub brush and actually showering or taking a bath in the swimming pool. That'd probably that'd probably get me booted. Wouldn't have done that, but I certainly would have spent a lot of time in that pool before taking a cold shower. All right, Injustice 360. Are you going to watch Big Brother Canada 11? Yeah, oh, absolutely. I'm going to watch it. Assuming I can find it on the feeds between YouTube and there's a bunch of different sites that I think I can find it on, and there's a couple of people who have offered me some other options as well. But yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm planning on it, even without the live feeds. I enjoyed last season. It was tough for a couple of seasons ago. They had to shut down early because of COVID, and it may be just as well because it seems like 2 or 3 people had already self-evicted, or were talking about self-evicting. I don't know how anyone can go on any of these Big Brother shows and self-evict. I don't care how stressful things get in there. That would not be something I could ever do. Now, having said that, mental health's important. If someone is in there and they feel like that's their only way to stay sane and to protect themselves, who am I to judge? Yeah, go ahead and self-evict. But it's not anything I could have done. But we had that a couple of seasons ago for Big Brother Canada. But last season, I loved it. I thought it was a fantastic season. I'm looking forward to this season. Again, I don't like the live feeds, but I like the competitions. I love their competitions there. I like the competitions. I like the theme of the house. There's just a lot of things to like about Big Brother Canada. So yeah, I'll be watching. I most definitely, you know me, I'll be watching. All right, Michelle Moore saying, anyone watching Ghost? That's a TV show, right? That's on there. My mom absolutely loves it. She loves it. We watch Young Sheldon. Love you. We like the Big Bang Theory. I like Young Sheldon partially because it takes place here in Texas. I can relate to a lot of the background they have on it. I was gonna say I can relate to being that smart kid, not like Sheldon. He's a whole different level of smart. But we love Young Sheldon. I haven't watched Ghost as much. I've seen 1 or 2 episodes, but my mom watches it and absolutely loves every bit of it. So yeah. CBS has some good little stuff. We don't watch a lot of sitcoms. We watch mainly reality TV, but a lot of the CBS shows, they're on CBS, the sitcoms we watch. Vicky Stone, did y'all have ants in the house during your season? We did, Vicky, but we were lucky, I guess. I don't know that we were that much cleaner than anyone else. Maybe we were. We didn't have ants until like 3 or 4 weeks left in the season. It was pretty late when we started getting them. And where we first noticed the ants was out in the backyard. I don't know if you know, Sam, I'm sure some of you do. There's a little mini refrigerator out in the backyard. So sometimes we're locked outside while they're doing different things inside, changing stuff up or veto ceremony, things like that. So there's a little outdoor refrigerator, and we used to keep big jars of Gatorade. You know, some of the guys, Mickey, Jackson, Mickey, some people like that, always had to have their Gatorade within arm's reach. So we had big bottles of Gatorade in that mini fridge. People drinking it right there by their fridge, you know, spills. You don't think that much about it, just falls into the grass. Well, the ants enjoyed it because we first noticed that the ants had just absolutely overwhelmed this outdoor refrigerator. It was just crawling everywhere. Really gross. We noticed that, and then a few days later, we noticed that they're trying to sneak into the slide through the sliding door into the kitchen, and we finally found them up on top of the refrigerator, crawling around. And it's not that I like ants; I can't stand them either. But I spent a lot of time in South America and other places where it's just ants that crawl all over everything. I remember a place I worked down there, the coffee maker, and sugar and stuff. It just you get all kinds of extra protein when you drink your coffee down there. But Tommy Bracco cannot stand ants, so he would try to kill those things. He did a great job of treating them as best he could. Now, here's the thing that you may not know: Big Brother is very environmentally conscious, I guess. They wouldn't give us any kind of bug spray. They probably didn't trust us. They wouldn't give us any kind of bug spray that was really toxic. They probably thought we'd just spray it on each other while he slept or something. But now it was all very organic, citrus oil, things like that were designed to repel ants as opposed to actually kill them. So we put that stuff everywhere. We did have some ant traps, but we put them everywhere, and we had them, but not nearly as bad as some of these seasons where it seems like just a month in and they're all over everything. As soon as they got inside the house, we all did a pretty good job of trying to get everything cleaned up, and Tommy was the enforcer. He was the stomper taking out these ants. I know he still does it back home in New York as well. So we had them, but not nearly as bad as other people. All right, Mark Taylor saying, do you watch WrestleMania? Who's your favorite current wrestler? I don't watch as much, Mark, as I used to as a kid. We watched the Young Rock, the Dwayne Johnson show, and it's really cool because it's fictional. It's supposed to be taking place in the future when Dwayne Rock is Dwayne Johnson, when The Rock is running for president, but he's telling all these stories about growing up, and his whole family was involved in WWF, WWE, and so there's a lot of background. And every time I see an episode, I do checking, and it's all pretty much true stuff about, you know, Andre the Giant, and the Von Erichs were huge here in Texas. We watched them when we were growing up and everything. Nowadays, no, I don't watch it nearly as much. I mean, you've got the big WrestleManias that are at Texas Stadium, the different stadiums that bring in 100,000 people and all. I've never been to one of those, just because I don't know. I just never, the crowds and everything else, and being way up at the top, watching someone down in the ring at the very bottom. I've never really been as involved with on that, so I couldn't even tell you who my favorite is nowadays, because a little more old school. I like the old wrestlers, the Hulk Hogan and the Von Erich. Just some of the folks from the past that were such characters and everything else. So yeah, that's kind of a black spot, I guess you'd call it, a black hole in terms of culture. I don't follow as much as a lot of people do. Mark saying, what happened to the visitors in your attic? Are they gone now? Yes. The war has been won. For those of you who don't know what Mark's talking about, we had squirrels in our attic. Sounds like bats in a belfry or something, right? Yeah, no, it's not talking about this attic, but talking about the actual in the house attic. We had a couple of squirrels that moved in, drove me bonkers. I put all kinds of ginger oil and peppermint oil up there. I had radios playing music to scare them away, and it didn't work. They knew where things were good. I finally broke down, hired a handyman to go up on a ladder. I wasn't allowed to do it because Sharon likes me with all my bones intact. But yeah, he found a couple little holes where squirrels squeezed in. So he covered it up, fixed this for us. And every once in a while, I'll still see us. We got trees all over our house. So every once in a while, I'll hear squirrels up there. I think, oh, they're trying to get in. I need to check, but they haven't figured it out yet. They'll run across the roof every once in a while. But now the squirrels are gone. The main thing, the important thing, is we got them out of the house before they had a whole bunch of little squirrel babies. Because I'm not brutal. I'd feel horrible if there were a bunch of little babies that I was having to evict. They didn't have to worry about that. They went and they found a neighbor's house, I guess, had their offspring somewhere else. So yeah, we're taken care of. Last year I had to deal with killer bees that got into our house. This year I had to deal with squirrels. Hopefully that's it. We have all kinds of wildlife down here in Houston, but the rest of the stuff we have is nice wildlife. We got possums in our backyard, which we love because they eat bugs and stuff. They do their own. They help me out with my garden and everything else I grow. They take care of business. So yeah, we're pretty cool with everything else that's in here. So I love squirrels. Just don't come into my house, right? All right, Vicky Stone saying, I read somewhere that that you played the harp. Is that true? No, I could play the harp, not that you would recognize anything, and not that I'd read any notes, but I can zing and move the strings just like anyone else. Can you picture me at some wedding sitting there playing the harps? Yeah, no, I don't. I wish of all the things I do, and there's things I think I do pretty well. Music is not one of them. Dancing probably, I don't know. I could dance when I need to, but I have never really played a musical instrument. Once upon a time, I came out here and said I'm going to try to learn the ukulele. Yeah, I've not done that yet. That's on my bucket list, but it's way down on the bucket list. Yeah, no, I played piano as a child. I mean, just like so many of us back then, took piano lessons and played in a few recitals and all of that. I can still play, first few notes of the Entertainer and a few songs here and there, but yeah, no, I don't play the harp. Probably, if I had any choice, what would I play? If I had just God came down and said, Cliff, pick one musical instrument. We're going to teach you how to play it. I'll snap my fingers. You know how to play it. What's it going to be? It'd be cool to be a really cool piano player just because people are impressed by that. But if it wasn't a piano, the banjo would be fun. You can't. What's Steve Martin's bit where he says you can't play a sad banjo song? Everything is happy when you're playing with a banjo. So maybe the banjo, maybe bagpipes. My heritage is Scotland. It's where my family is from. If you go far enough back, so yeah, give me a bagpipe and I'll clear the room whether I'm playing well or not. Bagpipes tend to do that, but now I don't play the harp. But maybe I'll pick it up one of these days. Can't get by without a harpist in the band, right? Yeah, it's your path to stardom, right? Now, at least with the banjo, yeah, I can play the theme song from the Deliverance, right? Have y'all seen Deliverance? It's an old show. I know there's some of y'all who may not have. I was talking about The Watcher and how creepy that was. I remember Deliverance. It has Burt Reynolds. Who else is in there? John Voight in there? I'd have to remember, but I had Burt Reynolds. My parents watched that, and my brother and I wanted to watch it so badly, and they said, yeah, no, you're not watching Deliverance. I remember the first time I actually got the chance to see it. That is a scary, scary movie, especially because I was in Boy Scouts, and then later my son was in Boy Scouts. We did a lot of canoeing. I've always enjoyed canoeing and all of that. But yeah, it's I don't even know how I got on that, but yeah, the Deliverance was scary as well. Be careful when you're going down those. I remember when I was a scout, we did an overnight canoe trip, went up the river, camp, pulled our canoes up on shore, set up tents. Is a wilderness survival deal. We just brought the minimal amount of food. We had to go build our own shelters, live on this little area for all night long. We had like one match each to start a fire. And, they're trying to do it as very much a survivor type situation, which is all fine and dandy. We had a blast doing it until we woke up the next morning and found out that the dam, which was a few miles upstream from where we are, had overnight opened up the floodgates and released a lot of water, which caused the water level to rise a couple of feet in the river, picked up our canoes, floated every single one of our canoes downstream. So here we are, miles and miles upstream with no way to get back home, no paths, nothing. It's just rugged stuff. It was not a good situation. Eventually, one of the older scouts was able to, I think, if I recall, he was able to walk along the shoreline, found one of the canoes that had gotten hung up in some trees just a few, 100 feet down the road. And from there, he was able to go paddle down and get the rest of the canoes. But yeah, we kind of were wondering who was going to have to eat each other first once we felt like we were all stranded there. Watch Deliverance if you haven't seen it before. All right, Fred Benson, John Voight, and Ned Beatty. Ned Beatty's who I was trying to think of. All right, John Voight and Ned Beatty. Yeah, I don't want to give you. Oh, that's because we're talking banjo. Dun 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 dun. Love the Deliverance theme. I don't even know if that's dueling banjos from the movie. I absolutely love it. Rest of the movie kind of give you a heebie-jeebies here and there. All right, Mark Santa. Congrats to Amber from Big Brother and the challenge. She's gonna be a mom. I saw that. I'm so happy for her. I've met her, I think just once. I met her up in Arlington when we had the big Brother fight night. She's so nice. She's just I don't feel like she got a fair shake when she played Big Brother, because if you remember Caleb, Beast Mode Cowboy, he kind of had a thing for her, and I think it impacted her game and not in a good way. It'd be tough to be in the house and have someone that just felt like they were infatuated with you and just couldn't really let you play your game. So yeah, I don't think she ever got a fair shake, but I'm glad she got a chance to go on the challenge and did pretty well. I mean, she has won what, $1 million, $500,000. I don't remember if she had to split it or not, but she's won the Big Brother. And now she's gonna have a baby. She and Chauncey were together in this last season. I'm so happy to see that. I know so many of these people now from all these different reality TV shows, and you watch them, and sometimes they end up together, and sometimes they actually stay together. Lots of times not, but having babies and all of that. There's a few different folks that are having kids from different reality TV shows. So yeah, I'm happy for it. It's pretty cool. It brings up a whole different way. Nick from my season now has a baby. I think his daughter I think she's just turned 1. So he's learning what it's like to be a dad and everything. And I see a smile on his face. I know everything is better when now that he's had kids and all that. So yeah, it's cool. I'm happy for him. All right. Wow. 7:55. It goes so fast, guys. All right. Michelle Moore saying, can you sing for us? What in the world would I sing, Michelle? I tell you what, you get your song choices in next week, and maybe I'll sing a little ditty. What do I sing? Let's see. It was a giant. It's a giant. I hear a train coming around the bend. I hear that train coming, and I don't know when. I've been in Folsom Prison. All right, there you go. That's a Folsom Prison. Is that where the rainbows come from? Yeah, Folsom Prison. I love me some Johnny Cash because he sings deep, and I feel like feels like that's the way I sing too. I think I've got a great in the shower type voice where I can bounce it off the walls and everything. Out in public, not so much. But I think my singing's better than my musical instrument playing, which is a low hurdle to achieve there. All right, Partly Cloudy saying, are you into true crime stories? Are you following the Murdoch trial? Yeah, a little bit. Some podcasts and things like that. We've watched we watch some of the true crime shows, the real ones where they have the trials and everything. I get caught up in some of those, and that's where I've watched some of the Murdoch stuff. I don't know. Sometimes it's a little depressing too. It just, how do people get into those kind of positions, right, where they could do such horrific things? But yeah, I like true crime stories. I tell you what, I really listen a lot to that I've enjoyed, and I'll throw a plug out there just because I'm not getting sponsored or anything else, but there's a thing called Darknet Diaries, a guy named Jack Resider, and he does a bunch of episodes all about cybersecurity and scams that take place online and people who have just done sneaky stuff, mainly using computers and such. But there's also episodes about people who are intrusion testers to see if they can break into facilities. And I listen to a lot of those podcasts. I enjoy that. But there's other ones like Serial with Anad Syed, who was convicted of murder. He just recently got released, which is interesting. So yeah, I listen to a lot of those kind of podcasts for true crimes. That's probably one of my favorite podcasts. I think about it because I've been listening to the podcast for The Last of Us just to get up to a little more up to speed on what happens on there. One of the very first podcasts that I ever listened to, kind of what introduced me to podcasts, I suppose, was a podcast for the remake of Battlestar Galactica. When was that? 15 years ago, 20 years ago. But when Ronald E. Moore did the remake of Battlestar Galactica, I loved it. One of my favorite series of all time. And they did a recap, a podcast of it. And so I would listen to this and listen to them talk about how they filmed it, why they did this and did that. Very first podcast I ever listened to, I think. So, yeah. How far have we come, right? That's the first one I've listened to. I've listened to a lot since then. So there you go. Yeah, I like true crime. But I also like I like mystery. I like whodunits. I used to always like the unsolved mysteries and some of the shows that you would see on Fox and some of the cops and some of those as well. I like that kind of stuff of, people trying to figure things out, which part of the Watchers is having to do with trying to figure out who did it and all that. I used to like a lot of mystery. Sherlock Holmes, Hercule Poirot, all the Agatha Christie type stuff. I used to read a lot of that. Encyclopedia Brown. As a kid, I loved Encyclopedia Brown, which is kind of a kid's version of Sherlock Holmes. Oh, I love those. They'd have all these mysteries. You'd read through it, and then if you couldn't figure out, you could go to the back of the book, and it would explain how Encyclopedia Brown had figured out what he figured out. I need to go find some of those. I bet I would still enjoy those even now. All right, guys, 7:58. I think we'll go ahead and shut it down right here because, as always, talk for an hour. I wish I had another hour. My voice probably couldn't handle it, but yeah, I appreciate all the questions. It means so much. Thank you so much for asking all of them. Next week, reality season starts all over again. It seems like with the challenge, not the challenge, with Survivor, Big Brother Canada. Even without live feeds, I'll still be watching. So, guys, enjoy the last week of February, last day or two, right? Enjoy the last couple of days of February. Enjoy your week. I will be back next Monday. We'll be talking about the cast for Big Brother Canada next week. We'll see. We'll get it all figured out. Until then, guys, SKD 143. Love my wife, love my kids, love all of y'all out there. If you haven't done so already, go out and hit subscribe on my channel. Thumbs up is pretty cool, and you can turn on notifications as well. And that way, as we talk about all these things, you'll always know when a new episode's out there. Guys, y'all have a great one. I'll see you next week. Until then, cheers, my friends.